From surgically modified bodies to becoming a millionaire in a day business, do we even know what's real anymore? Every day we are faced with the next best thing when we're just trying to become healthier, wealthier, and happy. What the fuck is real? What the fuck is true? What the fuck are you supposed to believe about yourself and your success while trying to build something that actually lasts? Welcome to What the Fuck is Beauty Anyway, the podcast. I am your host, Jen Carrasco, founder of Virago Studio, a fitness champion, IFBB pro figure competitor, a skincare line creator, and a serial entrepreneur. Well, and I'm an overall business coach. After years of building businesses from the ground up, I am here to help you with society's standards and, well, to use your beauty within to build something that is truly you and truly impactful. So now let's dive in. What is going on, guys? Happy week. Jen here again with the next week podcast of What the Fuck is Beauty Anyway. And as you know, if you've been listening to me, I've been diving in a little bit deeper on your metabolism and a bunch of fun stuff that I've been getting tons and tons of people asking me questions about. And so I'm just going to be diving in deep. So I have my Jen Carrasco site launching here pretty soon. And it has my 6-week metabolism booster program. And it really goes over all of the logistics and the science and all of the crap that, you know, all these nutritionists and dieters and everybody out there that want to sell you all their shit. It actually gives you the lowdown about really, you know, what's really going on with you and what's really going on with the fact that why you possibly cannot lose weight and how you can boost your metabolism up. And, you know, a lot of times you can listen to YouTubes and you can listen to a bunch of different things, but it's not necessarily that you want to know the science behind all of it. You just want to know the pros and cons and why you should do this and why you shouldn't do that. So, you know, training, coaching, and manipulating bodies is my specialty. So I am including mine. So over 20 years of knowing how to change from an average physique to a full-fledged IFBB pro competitor, tapping into the huge entire hormone system, into extreme fat loss, and intense career in business for the last 13 years in this. This is definitely my specialty. So though, a couple things that I do really want to talk about, because I have been having a lot of people asking me questions about this. And the one thing that over my years of doing this that I've realized is that people who actually get quality transformational results, they have the body that they want inside and out. So in all of the ways. So pretty much majority of them are eating 80 to 90% clean majority of the time. And it's a natural, it's an easy process. I eat clean 80, 90% of the time. I do splurge every now and then. You know, when I train, I put every ounce of my being into my training. I also understand when I'm overtraining. And I also understand when I need to listen to my body. And these are the things that people don't get. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you. So I have a list here of a couple of things that I want to go over. But the one thing that I do really want to shoot out there is your mindset, right? So it consists of a healthy, prosperous, and fit reality. Whatever your mind and vision is, the result of what you are going to achieve is about the healthy pattern of your right mind over the decisions that matter. It is an energy thing, a shift. It is a way you envision yourself. So I want you to know that, all right? I am most certain you understand the big picture of what I'm talking about. For so many, the big part of why you are here listening to this is the part that you're guided to listen to it here. So as I always say, my pre-workout for people is more or less scratching the surface the surface, digging up patterns that have been implanted in our thoughts that have created a pattern that we sabotage ourselves with. And I call these power seeds. And as my mentor would say, mindset and energy, those two words resonate. So especially with how you look, how you are grounded, and how powerful your power seed is. If you think about it, energy or mindset of how you look is very much grounded in practicality and goes far beyond just the power of positive thinking. Your thoughts indeed have the power to create your reality, although perhaps without you genuinely realizing it. Furthermore, there is a direct correlation between stress, the same effects as cortisol and constant release, which I've already discussed. You guys can listen to it on the previous one. So when we start to choose to let go of our automated beliefs, our emotions, our stress, our turmoil that has impacted our body, we function at a different wavelength, a foreign body vibe. It just becomes a thought we no longer think nor reflect on. So with my Metabolism Booster program, I designed something for you to actually change your brave wavelengths of yourself, how you think of food, what food you should be consuming, your workouts, and a lot of other shit. We go over cortisols, we go over insulins, we go over all of it. So, I believe that it depends on putting some effort into everything that you're doing. Your mind sometimes needs as much effort as if you're training as your body. So I believe that letting go of guilt, fear, self-criticism is something that every woman and man can do if they want to. I also think that doing so, and perhaps even going so far as to release resentment you may be holding and decide to forgive people who have wronged you, is paramount if you genuinely want to be healthy and happy. And yes, perhaps even if you want to genuinely be lean. So today I want to talk about how we can and what little tricks that I do to help to repair my metabolism. So a lot of times with training and getting ready for a show, I beat my body up to the point to where my metabolism is literally fucked, right? I'm actually going through that right now because I've been really, really hard on myself to get off some weight. I gave myself a 10-pound of show weight that I wanted to be close to, which I'm actually really, really close to. I'm about 6 pounds away from it, which isn't that much, but I have to say that I can tell my body's tired. And so I need to realize that I'm going to do more damage with pushing myself than just laying off for maybe 3 days and just relaxing and then going back at it in 3 days. Okay. So understand there is a time that you need to rest and relax because your body will not repair. And then you start that inflammation mode, you start your cortisols going, then you start storing fat again. So just know when you're putting your body under a huge amount of stress, it could be mentally, physically, it will start storing fat. Whether you're deficient in calories or not, it not necessarily will start leaning you out. So scientific based, it's true. Everybody's different, so I can't hold you on that one, but let's talk about what I do when I get off of show prep because my metabolism is literally fucked. So I do reverse diet. I always have to do that just to build my metabolism up. And we can do another podcast if you guys want to on reverse dieting, and I can explain that later, but I'm not going to go into that. But the one thing that I do every morning is I get myself a nice cup of probably 8 ounces to 12 ounces of hot water or warm water. I like hot. It's completely up to you. And I usually put about 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and I put about a half a lemon squeeze in there as well. Then on top of that, I will put some salt in there. Now, no, I will not put iodine salt. That is like the absolute devil. I will usually use like pink Himalayan salt. That's usually what I do. And I'm going to explain those for you. So the apple cider vinegar, that is actually going to help utilize the body fat. So your metabolism, what it does is it allows the fat to be utilized to create body heat. And when you create body heat, your metabolism is actually getting more active, right? It has to burn faster. So it's really good. I actually suggest that if you throw that into your foods, it's great. You can even consume this drink like 3 times a day. It's not going to hurt you. It just really helps to upregulate your metabolism, okay? The next thing is lemon. Lemon just gives it a better taste for me, but lemon also does have a little bit amount of fiber in that. The next thing is salt. I use Himalayan salt. The reason why is because the Himalayan salt, any salt will actually help your cravings. So when I drink this, it alleviates cravings a lot of times through the day. And what people don't realize is when you have cravings for like sweets or sugary foods, things like that, it's really the lack of salt that you have in your diet. It's not for everybody, but majority of the times that's usually what it is. So that is one of my little tricks that I do. I have a list of different things. So the next thing that I do want to go over is if you're hungry, I highly, highly suggest to overeat with protein, okay? Now, I use digestible enzymes. The reason why I do is because it helps my body to break down the protein a little bit better. So I do use those. But what people don't understand is 20 to 25% of our protein we consume is going to be ended up getting metabolized. So what I'm going to explain to you is 25% of protein that we eat, 25% of the energy is going back to actually metabolizing and digesting the protein. So it's making your body actually work a little bit harder to break down the protein. So that means you're actually burning more calories with eating more protein, okay? Now, I'm just throwing it out there. You need to make sure that your body consume that amount of protein. I don't know if you have a disorder, if you have something else going on. I know for myself, because I do lift heavy weights and I work out a lot, I usually have probably 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal. Sometimes I might do a little bit more. So there's a lot of studies that are out there, but I don't want to bore you with them. A lot of the studies, they took 3 random trials of people, right? They all put them on a high calorie diet, but the one had high protein, the second had moderate protein, and then the last one had like barely any protein. Now, they all gain substantial amount of weight because of their calories, but the high protein gained more weight, but they found out that they actually gained more muscle because muscle weighs more than fat. So they actually gained more, but they gained more muscle because they had more protein intake during that period of time. So that is something that I really want to strive for you guys to understand is the more muscle that you have, the more that your body will metabolize more. Meaning that you'll stay leaner because your body is burning faster than the average person with less muscle, if that makes sense. Now, I'm not going to get into the science of this, but I do want to go over cheat meals. Now, I did do a blog not too long ago, and I think it was last week that cheat meals came out. So what I do is I don't necessarily have a cheat meal during the week, and I don't splurge and like go flipping crazy and have everything under the sun in one meal, right? You need to listen to your body. But what I do notice, and this might be TMI for everybody, but when my body stops working properly, right? So meaning that if I'm really fatigued and I'm tired, and maybe I haven't had like a regular bowel movement, or it just hasn't been like the best to where my metabolism is working, and you guys can tell that, right? That's when I know that I need to go and have a cheat meal. And usually a cheat meal for me is something with higher carbs and no fat. You do not want to have a cheat meal with high fat and high carbs. That will turn into high calorie, high fat, right? But if you can do like a high carb, low fat, high protein, it's going to kind of kick your metabolism into play a little bit again. And that's why you always hear competitors say, oh, I get a cheat meal today. I get to eat whatever I want. And a lot of times they do that. So then that way it will kickstart their metabolism to kind of go back to normal. And then they can restart the diet and lose more weight. That's the purpose of it. There's a scientific behind it all, but I'm not going to get into it for you. But that is something that I highly recommend. I'm not telling you go have a cheat meal every week and eat whatever the hell you want to. Like moderation, you know what I mean? Like, and have good carbs, good source of carbs. Don't go and eat like shit food. Like have a good source of a carb. Like have a good amount of like sweet potatoes with, you know, some like hamburger or low fat hamburger or chicken or something like that, just to kickstart your metabolism a little bit. That really helps. Another thing I do want to go over is, like I talked about before, is overtraining. When you're overtraining, so I love my Peloton, I love HIIT, I love all of that stuff. But the thing is that if you're doing this on a constant basis, your metabolism will get wonky and it won't work properly. And I'm sure that you've seen this. I'm sure you've seen avid runners, avid bicyclists. You've seen CrossFit people that have always stayed overweight that cannot lose the weight, but they work out like a fiend and you see it, right? And you think, okay, they must eat like shit when they're home. And they don't necessarily do that. But what's happening is they're overtraining their body and they're not letting their body recover. And so therefore they're not losing the weight. So they're literally sabotaging themselves. So that is the time period you need to realize that you need to reel it back in a little bit, maybe take 3 days off. It's a good thing not to have to go to the gym on a constant basis. And I tell people that all the time. Like if you're an advocate heavy lifter and you go to the gym and you're usually sore the next day, I suggest lifting maybe like 3 or 4 times a week. And then do cardio or something on the other days. Don't overly do it. You need to gradually do it, work on your metabolism, work on your mindset, and then work on what the hell you put in your mouth. And between all of that, you will start noticing a difference and you should start knocking off some good poundage. So, you know, always reach out to me, DM me, anything like that. I'm more than happy to help you guys out. I do one-on-one consultations if it's just like an hour consult. You want to talk about something to maybe get you to the next level. I do a lot of coaching for that. So definitely feel free. Before I end this, there is one thing that I do want to go over a little bit more. And there's definitely a couple more things that you can do to boost your metabolism, but I don't want to make this super long. And you get great information in my program, so I highly recommend that. But the next one I want you to do is actually start paying attention to your thyroid. I highly recommend for you to get your thyroid checked and see if it's in the accurate levels that it should be. So, another good thing for thyroid to stimulate it is iodine and chromium. And I'll go over that a little bit more. So our damage usually is from a thyroid. So typically when our metabolism is lower, it is because of a thyroid, right? So I just want you to know that your thyroid is slowing, and that's usually because of age, stress, bad food, autoimmune diseases, things like that. I noticed that before I found all of the issues that I had going on with my stomach, that, I wasn't dropping weight for anything, and it was really, really hard. And I found out that I had some parasites and things going on in my stomach. And I literally, after cleaning those out, I lost about 7 pounds of inflammation. So just know that it could just be other factors. It could even be just stress in your life. So the thyroid gland, it needs iodine to convert to T4 into a usable form of T3. So I'm going to get a little scientific on this one so you guys can understand. When your body combines iodine and tyrosine, and when it does that, it creates T1, T2, T3, and T4. But it also helps conversion process of T4 to T3. So chromium, which is a mineral, helps GLUT4 receptors come to the surface. So meaning blood sugar that is kind of floating within your body sometimes does not have a place to go. So if you take a little bit of chromium, and you can get this anywhere, it makes it so the receptors inside our cell come to the surface of our cell to collect the extra glucose, right? So it helps thyroid because it links with high blood sugar and insulin levels, which we've went over before in one of the last podcasts. So it will slowly downgrade our thyroid a bit. So control the issue, not the symptom, right? So iodine, you can get that a lot in kelp, seaweed. Do not use the iodine salts. It is bleached and it is stripped, and it is not a healthy thing for you to be consuming whatsoever. So with that being said, I hope that you guys got a lot out of this. I really wanted to just start diving deep a little bit and helping you because, there's a lot of people out there that get flustered and they feel lost, and it's really not their fault. They need some guidance, and they need some education, and they need help to get them to the point to where it just starts to happen for them. And, that's why I'm here on earth, and that's why I'm here to help you. So with that said, make this week a fabulous week, you guys, and I'll catch you next week. Thanks for turning in this week. I hope that you thoroughly enjoyed this episode, and I hope you're feeling stronger mentally and physically and ready to kick some ass. As we navigate new society norms, business and beauty breakthroughs, make sure to always ask yourself, what the fuck is beauty to me? And know that's all that really matters. If you love this content today, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review. Follow me and get more info on how to work with me at jencarrasco.com. You can also find me on all of your favorite social media platforms. Now just remember, stay mentally tough.